All right, fellas, this is the home improvement edition of our leadership baseball videos. Not really. That's not what I want to talk about. That's just what I got stuck doing today. In this massive heat wave, we've been doing all this work on this house near campus, and we painted it, and now we have this carport left, and I've been up here on the eaves scraping all this old paint off this wood in August. So good time for that kind of stuff. I know that you've had some kind of hot summer wherever you are, whether you were in a dugout on a ball field. I know some of the guys were running camps at ULM, and I was out there one day and everybody was drenched at the end of the day. Coaches, players, a lot of you guys were out there working with those little kids, all those future Warhawks or whatever they are. But yeah, and then I talked to Travis last night. He said that he put insulation up in Uncle's attic over the weekend down in Houston. So insulation in an attic in August, hot jobs. So wherever you were doing, mowing grass. I saw Lane Little the other day driving his truck, pulling his lawn equipment over across 165. And so I know we've all been hot, and we've all had to do probably at least one crappy job that we didn't want to do this summer. That kind of sucks, that you feel like, man, I should be doing something else. Maybe I should be doing something more valuable with my time. But one of the things I wanted to talk about just in leadership, and this is kind of one of those things I feel like that everybody knows, that everybody says, but not that many people really pull it off. Not that many people do it. There's a story in the Gospel of Matthew where two of Jesus's main disciples, James and John, their mom shows up, and she's like, hey, I want my sons to have a good spot in your kingdom, one on your right, one on your left, and want them to be these big leaders. And you know, it's kind of one of those deals too where sometimes the disciples were found kind of talking about who would be the greatest, and some people would get mad about who's in the position of leadership or whatever, just like with any group. It's going to be like that. And Jesus says, ho, wait a second. What you got to understand is whoever wants to be great among you must be a servant. Whoever wants to be first, whoever wants to be the best, they're going to have to be the slave of everybody. So Jesus just totally turns the tables on everybody's idea of leadership, because we all want to be kind of at the front, in charge. We want people to look at us, and we do want the notoriety sometimes of being a leader. We want the paycheck that comes with it. We want all those things. But a true leader, Jesus says, is one who will be the servant of all. So as you head into this semester in just a couple weeks, and you guys are going to start fall ball, whatever y'all do for practice and scrimmages and all that kind of stuff, and then you've got masks that we're going to have to be wearing at least for the first few weeks of school, and then at some point you guys are going to lose your field, and you're going to have to go somewhere else to practice because they're putting in the new turf. And so there's going to be a lot of weird things as you start this school year, and it'll be easy to kind of shift and think, man, I don't want to do the hard stuff. I need something kind of easy. I don't want to do the lower end job. I don't want to be the one at the bottom. But sometimes being the one at the bottom, sometimes being the one on the low end, sometimes being the one who's willing to do the hard thing, like that's where true leadership rises. It shines in those moments. And that's also how God can craft you into the leader that he's calling you to be as a man, as a husband someday, as a father someday, as a business partner, as a pro player, even right now as a college athlete. Being crafted and molded by God in that way, where do the hard thing, don't look for the notoriety, don't sit around waiting on other people's praise. Go be the one that cleans the toilet, be the one that vacuums the locker room, be the one that picks up that last piece of equipment that everybody always forgets. Be that guy. Serve from the back like that. Serve from the bottom. Lead from the bottom, really, is what it boils down to. And not only will other people see that and take suit or follow suit, and they'll take notice of what you're doing. But also, it'll sharpen you. It'll make you stronger for the rougher things that come ahead in the course of a semester, in the course of a school year, in the course of a season. And so some of you may be getting this message and you may be thinking, who is this old balding guy talking about baseball out there sweating like a crazy man? But we'll be getting to know each other a little bit, I think. On Mondays, you'll come eat lunch at the Wesley Foundation, and we'll talk a little bit about stuff like this and about who God's calling us to be as men and as leaders. And just remember that whoever wants to be first, whoever wants to be the greatest leader, is going to have to be the servant. They're going to have to be last. They're going to have to be the slave. They're going to have to be the one who leads from the back, who works from the bottom up. Well, adios, go Hawks, and see you soon.